The chair would now recognize Mr. Moreno for 5 minutes.
Chairman Pierce, Vice Chairman Pittenger, Ranking Member Perlmutter, and distinguished members of the subcommittee, thank you so much for the invitation to appear before you today. It is truly an honor to be part of this discussion. Since the attacks of September 11th, we have been largely successful in preventing the next catastrophic attack and have prosecuted hundreds of financiers, facilitators, and charities for supporting terrorism. However, as pointed out, identifying and preventing lone wolf or small-scale terrorist attacks presents a unique set of challenges. Lone wolf attackers are typically self-radicalized with no direct connection to an organized terrorist group. With minimal training and coordination, they can carry out a mass shooting, detonate explosives, or drive a vehicle into a crowd of civilians. These attacks are frequently self-funded at amounts often considered too small to detect solely through the tracking of financial transactions. But studies show there is almost always some identifiable behavior leading up to a lone wolf attack, whether it be an online manifesto, training, reconnaissance, or the acquisition of weapons or other materials. Knowing this, we must continue exploring ways to identify these behaviors before an attack takes place. First, we should take a hard look at whether we can better utilize our existing prosecution tools and financial reporting framework. The Bank Secrecy Act criminalizes the act of money structuring, or making transactions under $10,000 to cause a bank to fail to report that transaction to the federal government. Structuring prosecutions and the use of asset forfeitures have come under criticism in recent years, due to cases where the funds of law-abiding citizens were seized and they were left fighting for their money back. As a result, both the IRS and the Department of Justice have taken the position they will focus only on structuring cases that involve significant criminal activity. The problem with this approach is that it focuses only on where the money originates, not on where the money is going. If a person is making multiple withdrawals of just under $10,000 within days, or withdrawals from multiple bank branches or multiple ATMs on the same day, for example, they are probably trying to hide what they plan to do with that money. We should also examine how we utilize suspicious activity reports prepared by banks and other financial institutions. We need to explore better technology to flag small transactions that may be indicative of illicit use, such as artificial intelligence systems designed to detect suspicious activity in real time. At the same time, we need to make sure that joint federal and local SAR review teams have the personnel and funding they require to get through and follow up on the tremendous volume of reports they receive each year. The suspicious activity reporting process is seriously impeded if the reports are not actually reviewed and acted on. Second, we need to look at ways that would-be attackers anonymously solicit, move, and spend money. If we were having this conversation 15 years ago, we would focus primarily on hawalas, cash couriers, and charities. Now, new payment methods such as virtual currencies, crowdfunding technologies, mobile payment applications, and online peer-to-peer payment systems provide persons with ever-expanding methods to raise and move funds anonymously. As these technologies develop, we must ensure that our reporting requirements keep pace. Another emerging issue is the proliferation of prepaid cards. Today, anyone can go into a supermarket and buy packages of prepaid cards in cash, which can be used to purchase virtually anything. You don't even need the physical card to make a purchase. Individuals can cut and paste the account number, expiration date, and security code into an email or text message and effectively transfer that purchasing power anywhere in the world. By doing so, they effectively convert their cash to a form of anonymous buying power, significantly working around the financial reporting safeguards that apply to traditional credit and debit cards. Finally, we should consider other methods to address this issue. There have been proposals to regulate various types of consumer products commonly used in attacks, such as ammonium nitrate. Tagging agents currently required for plastic explosives could be required for use in gunpowder, in bullets, and fireworks to help trace those products after an attack. Data on the purchases of items such as pressure cookers, diesel fuel, and other products could also be collected and tracked. At the same time, we must continue aggressive surveillance and infiltration of websites and social media used to spread propaganda, raise funds, and incite violence. And operators such as Facebook and Twitter must be pressed to enforce their terms of service and close accounts that are used to incite illegal activity. Just as we strive to cut off terrorist organizations from financial systems, we must also make it as difficult as possible for them to use the internet to finance and coordinate attacks. Finally, many lone wolf attackers at some point demonstrate indicia of depression, paranoia, or violence prior to an attack. In most communities, the only option for reporting someone is to call the police or the FBI. If there was a mechanism for some sort of mental health intervention, concerned friends and family members may be more willing to get that individual the help they need before they go down the path for violence. I fully acknowledge that each of these options comes with costs, both to taxpayers and consumers and to individual privacy. And these costs must be weighed against the likelihood these activities would in fact be effective, either as prevention and disruption or for criminal prosecution after the fact. Addressing the threat of lone wolf and small-scale terrorist attacks presents many challenges, and I applaud this subcommittee for taking on this difficult issue and opening up this bipartisan dialogue, and I stand ready to answer any questions you may have. Thank you, sir.